Welcome to the Fearfic Podcast. Fearfic is the term for short horror fiction, mostly posted on the web. It includes any and all related subgenres. Join three assholes talking basement goo Slimebeast, inebriated interstellar traveler Abysmii, and irritable ghostly man-horde Dead Palette, as they read all stories horror and internet-related, paragraph by paragraph, and bullshit while they do it. From adolescent revenge fantasies to subtle postmodern narratives about real-life events and everything in between, they read it and critique. You better believe it. Kick it to the cold open, white boy.
Go. Start.
I've got a
Start. Go. Start.
Something that I wrote that goes out to that one special someone in my life. And if anyone's listening, they want to use it for their special someone on this stupid-ass holiday I share a birthday with. Yeah, here we go. Girl, the moment I saw you, I had just one thing on my mind. I was hoping we'd meet here, so I could say this without fear. Life's a miss if you don't take shots. Love is not a one-way street. I'd like to fill up them holes you've got. And maybe you'll let me smell them feet.
That is,
That's beautiful.
that resonates with me
You've made me believe in love again.
on a deep emotional level.
Never mind. I don't.
Yeah, now it's gone.
It was fleeting. So, is that the lead song? The lead song, I don't know if that's even a term, on your new album, or?
That is the upcoming single, yes.
All right. Upcoming single should be the title of the Valentine's album.
Incoming single?
At the end of the album, you should have said enough things to end your relationship.
I might in that whole song. That might just be ways to not open up a conversation with somebody.
So, DP, you said
Yeah.
you were going to sing a song next?
Yeah, I've had a Percocet that's expired.
And once you lay down, you'll expire.
Times are tough if you're trying to hit up the expired Percocets.
Oh my God. Good band name, The Expired Percocets.
For the past 2 days, I've had horrendous back pain, and I haven't been able to sleep, so I'm sleep deprived, and my back hurts, and I'm on some expired Percocets, so this is going to be great.
Yeesh.
Does your back hurt from carrying Rainbow Six teams?
Ooh.
God, no.
Oh.
No. I'm terrible at that game. I'm truly horrendously bad at them. So it is Valentine's Day, and so let's read. Oh man, guys, I'm feeling it already. This is like the first time I've talked in 48 hours.
Why don't you just combine that Percocet with some alcohol? Don't really. Don't actually.
I will not do that.
Yeah.
It has helped me sleep and straighten out my back, but oof. And it's like, hey, I get it. There's an opioid epidemic, but could you please give me the Pilly Willies? Because I'm.
Hey, I get it. There's an epidemic, but please, can you give me the pills? It's a good start of a song by the Expired Percocets.
Indeed.
So, DP, I'm going to put you on the spot. What are we doing today? What are we doing tonight?
We're going to be reading some stuff from Archive of Our Own, which is a site that traditionally has a bunch of erotic works.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to read stuff that borders on the edge between erotic and horror without being too much penetrative sex.
No full penetration, in other words.
That's the idea. I accidentally steered us wrong that one time. I suggested that we read stuff from the Paw Patrol Creepypasta Wikia.
Guys, what could be so terrible about reading a Paw Patrol creepypasta? Oh, okay.
Oh,
everything.
Oh,
your worst
everything.
dreams imagined.
Worst subject matter we've ever read? Definitely, by far, with a bullet. Terrible. But we're going to be reading some fan fiction.
Yeah.
First one we're going to be reading is A Mirrored Fall by the Tentacle Commander.
And I don't want to dog on Dead Palette, but I'm rabidly against going back there. So I want to say we are not going there again.
Going where again?
To the Paw Patrol wiki.
Oh,
obviously. That was fun, and I regret every bit of it. But this is sorry guys if this is a low energy episode. We as the team really wanted to get. Hey, Jeff Kaplan here from the Fear Fiction team. Really wanted to get an episode out for Valentine's Day.
I like the idea that Dead Palette popped a Percocet and then he had some vivid dream that we were having a team meeting, like in an office, with our ties and our coffees. Gotta get this episode out today.
Listen, all dozens of listeners are waiting with bated breath for a Valentine's Day episode.
Definitely.
So The Mirrored Fall by Tentacle Commander. This is a Resident Evil, or if you live in Japan, Biohazard fan fiction. And it says under the relationships category, Nemesis / Jill Valentine. So we're in for a good time.
Okay. Valentine. Did this just come up when you searched Valentine on Archive of Our Own?
No, I considered that you guys might bring that up. No, it was I had to search through a bunch of fan fictions to find things that were not, and skim the story to make sure it wasn't full-on penetration.
Okay.
I'm a little concerned by the tags because 4 of them in a row say crack treated seriously, alternate universe - crack, crack relationships, crack and angst, and dark crack.
Dark Crack is my favorite Justice League villain.
But here's the problem. I don't know if crack is slang for cocaine or slang for ass or slang for something else that I'm afraid to find out.
Do you not know the term crack?
Not out of those 2 I just mentioned.
Okay, crack means a relationship that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, so it's like you're on crack when you're writing it.
So, which doesn't make any sense because
crack
Nemesis,
treated seriously.
Because Nemesis and Jill Valentine is the canon ship, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Sure.
So let's get into this. Let's get into this dark crack treated seriously in an alternate universe relationship angst. A mirrored fall, blue eyes snapped open, body aching, palms sweaty, knees weak.
God damn it.
To a room filled with crack and buzzing. That needs to be a tag here too, crack and buzzing.
And spiders.
White noise flooded her ears as the TV station was either down or out for the night. The night. When did it become night? She struggled to get up off her bare couch, the living room cold and... Wait, where am I?
Is this a fucking
my
beat
head.
poet? Like...
Where am I and why am I not making sense in my narrative? Why are my sentences fucked?
Yeah, it's a shifting between a first-person and third-person narrative in the same sentence.
The same clause.
when you said that crack meant the relationship doesn't make sense, I didn't realize you meant the sentences and phrasing wouldn't make sense.
Cracked grammar. Crack syntax.
Oh, man.
Oh, my head. Jill rubs her head, feeling as if the white noise had seeped into her brain, rattling her mind, still trying to place the where and the when. She feels drunk, yet not. I've been there. As she rose, the weight of a heavy dress tried to drag her down back to the worn yet comfortable chair. Oh,
angry.
God. That sentence.
Can I just point out, we now have... first person, third person, and second person? I don't know. It's like...
No, not yet, because second person would be you feel, you...
Oh, wait. I guess maybe I'm thinking of tenses, like present tense and past tense,
Yeah. A dress that layered her slim yet toned form in waves of blue mixed with white chiffon. Pretty chiffon. Felt like an anchor to the ground.
Okay. She could only surmise that she had been to a rather fine holiday party, of course, as one does. So fine that she was dropped off in a drunken stupor.
What?
Just a bunch of whiteys getting crunk up at the fucking...
This makes a lot of implications, this sentence.
Yeah, the country club. It's getting hot in there.
This is the story I'd rather be reading about so far.
How else was she to explain this outfit? Her long brunette hair draped down to her back, it flowing out like a curtain behind her, or even a tapestry. Huh?
It
So
flowed out and angry.
Is she dressed in the dress from Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's funny that this is mentioning being waking up and being in a nice flowing dress and everything, because that's something that happens in the most recent Resident Evil movie. Is like Rebecca Chambers wakes up locked in a chair and in a white dress when she didn't remember that. So
is this based on that?
No, this came out before that, I believe. This story was written before that.
They actually stole from this fanfiction. Okay.
It's starting to feel like it.
Here's the thing. It probably stole from that movie, or vice versa, but this stole from that one Evanescence song, because that's this whole fucking thing so far. Yeah.
Wake me up. Wake me up. I woke up. Okay, anyway.
Can't wake up. Wake up in a dress.
No, that makes sense, though, because it's like she's singing, and then like the male vocals are Nemesis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wake
exactly.
me up.
Stars, stars, stars.
Stars, stars, stars.
DP?
Sorry. Oh, boy. Perkin and hurtin'. Since...
Nope.
When was her...
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Ooh. Okay.
No, you're not right. You're right. No, you're right. No, go ahead. You're right.
Not perking that hard. Since when was her hair this long? She tugged on the long, dark strands, testing it to see if they were indeed real. Bitch, this weave. Must have had a really strong hair extensions put in.
God damn it.
I worry. Oh, Brandon. Predicting what's happening before the story gets there. I'll worry about it in the morning.
So, two things. One, this seems vaguely transformation fetishy. Secondly, what a bangin' party. You're at an upscale fancy party just getting completely wasted and having hair extensions put in and getting dressed in new outfits.
I'm waiting for Nemesis to bust in and say, Belle?
Whoa.
That's what this is also feeling like now.
Maybe.
Ladies, I need to tell you something very important. If you go to a party and you get blackout drunk, and while you're unconscious, someone puts hair extensions in, that was not your fault.
True.
But you're welcome.
But you're welcome.
It was Abysmii.
I sneak up on people in parties when they're passed out and give them hair extensions. The guys, too.
Yeah.
It's very confusing for them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
As she experimentally tugged on her hair again, I know what you mean by that, but that's not how you write that. The door creaked open, a sliver of the outside wind softly wafting into the small, cramped apartment. It brought in with it a chill that caused her to bring her arms closer in towards herself. The corset top of the dress, nor the thin arm sleeves, enough to keep her exposed chest warm.
So far, other than the fact that I know Nemesis is showing up, this not very Resident Evil, but I guess, you know.
It's gothic.
Yeah.
There's that.
It's also weird that like they're mentioning her arms as being thin. She's like pretty buff.
Yeah.
I would have thought this would be like, you know, Jill Valentine woke up in a factory, you know, or a warehouse, you know, and had a bloody nose because she had just been in a fight and got knocked unconscious. She looked at the zombie she killed, you know, on the ground in front of her, and then you go from there, waking up and whatever. But it's like she has on a pretty dress and she has long hair and she's beautiful and she's in this apartment and, you know, it's like, okay, not very Resident Evil-y, but okay.
Well, to be fair, there's like a lot of villains in Resident Evil that kind of have like eugenic mindsets. And so what they like to do is dress women up and like make them all traditional and pretty and that kind of thing. So that does kind of make sense to me. This does feel like extended lore Resident Evil to a certain degree.
She slowly adjusted to the heavy dress, thankful for the flats she had apparently chosen to pair with the ornate thing. Adjusting the long train of hair behind herself, Jill walked by the noisy TV, shutting it off. The room plunged into silence, the white noise no longer covering the eerie emptiness of the apartment. In fact, since when did I live here? Okay.
So I do really enjoy the mood that's being presented here. If I don't like the writing quality, I do like the mood and some of the phrasing being used.
Now, when it says white noise, does that mean Creed?
Yes.
With arms wide up, click. Oh, well.
Now this is just spooky. Jill approached the door. The large wooden. Okay, Jill approached the door, the large wooden black surface already becoming painted with snow from the outside. She reached to pull it inward, a large explosion from everywhere and nowhere rocked her hearing.
So she's drunk and not drunk. There's an explosion from everywhere and nowhere. God damn it. She was simultaneously dicked and not dicked by Nemesis. What?
Jill, wake up! You're in Silent Hill.
Oh yeah, Silent Jill.
Maybe. This doesn't have a crossover tag, so I doubt it. Like, that can't be the case. The noise cause... I do just love that the way that this site is set up is just like spoilers are in the tags all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Because everyone needs to know who bones everyone else in their fan fictions.
Mm-hmm.
The noise caused her to almost immediately run out. She didn't know why she didn't just go back inside and investigate, but her body insisted on staying out here.
Uh-huh.
This is a creepypasta if I've ever read one.
Yeah, this is...
Why did I stay outside? Well, I don't know.
Even if we didn't know this was Jill, then this would be a lot of creepypasta protagonists. She woke up and she was very pretty and in a nice dress, but bad things are happening around her and she didn't know anything of what was going on.
It's kind of sounding like that one fan fiction we read where they go to the Slender Mansion and Drown and Slender Man are all vying for the main character's attention.
And what site was that on?
Same one.
Yeah.
As she went to return to the black door, she saw it had on its own closed. Damn it, my keys are inside. I left the oven on. Jill mentally kicked herself for a moment and then got a headache before looking up at the door again. The numbers suddenly rang familiar, causing herself to clutch herself in revisited dread. This is my apartment in Raccoon. Shouldn't I be Raccoon City?
No, inside an actual raccoon.
Okay.
Like a tauntaun. She's out in the snow. She's going to cut open a raccoon and crawl inside. Revisited Dread sounds like a Resident Evil title from another country.
It does.
Revisited Dread 7. But Raccoon no longer exists now. She could only turn in numbness as she looked upon a city filled with flames. Oh, is it ash, not snow? She held her head in her hands, her words mumbling into the layered dress. No. No, 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 no.
Nobody lives forever.
That's true. Not here. Please, not here. Oy vey.
Yeah, so this is starting to sound like the live action movies where like there's like a bunch of weird like perception altering shit and people are getting cloned and she's waking up and she's a clone and she's still in Raccoon City, but it's not really Raccoon City. It's a simulation because why not?
I sort of am going to echo what probably a lot of people on archiveofourown.org say on the regular, but for a different reason. When are we just going to get to the fucking here?
Yeah. She began to shake. The shattering events of seeing her hometown fall were going to repeat in startling detail, down to the last victim. Jill slid to the ground, not wishing to do this dream again, not wanting to. A light, wet touch landed on her bare shoulder. I never recalled it breathing then.
Her eyes opened to see the same moonlit sky, the same stars, but the new chill brought on by the layers of snow coating everything. The roar of the fire, the smells of death, the screams of the damned were all silenced by that layer of pristine, powdery snow. Everything was coated with it alongside the silence that ran along with it.
I like the idea of her eyes open to see the same moonlit sky, the same stars. And then she looks over and sees Nemesis just firing into the air going, "Stars! Stars!" Anyway, she was trapped outside. Jill fought to fish up a hairpin to jam the lock. Well, she is the master of unlocking or whatever.
There we go. I had to come up.
But as she faced the black apartment door again, she found that it and the apartment complex was gone, like Willy Wonka's dad's house. Just up and gone, layers of snow coating where the large building would be. The only thing marring the snow was her own footsteps, her movements causing the only sound echoing in the seemingly empty town. "Sitting here in the cold isn't helping me any. Best find some shelter."
Why is Jill Valentine meowing?
God damn it. I'm sure there's probably fan art somewhere of Resident Evil characters as Team Rocket and shit like that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, Jill would be Meowth for no reason.
No, she'd be Wobbuffet.
Wah.
Sitting here in the cold isn't helping me any, but let's find some shelter. Jill slowly walked through the snow-covered town, the hem of her dress and her shoes becoming coated in snow. And yet the wetness, that's not where I was expecting that word to show up. That would normally happen, did not seep into any of her garments. She was thankful for this. The one was seemingly dropping in temperature, causing her to visibly tremble from the chill.
I just realized she's in a blue and white dress with long hair in the snow. Is she in Frozen? Is she in Undertale? No, is she in Frozen?
What the hell possessed me to wear this in the winter? So, that seems to be the crux of this story, is how did she wake up here? What's going on? But I just don't think that we're going to get an answer.
Who cares?
It's gonna be a simulation or some shit, I'm sure.
It's got to be a simulation.
Yeah. Sure. The town buildings the farther in became more defined, lit up with lights and filled with holiday decor. Seasonal decorations such as Christmas trees, presents, Santas, and the like hung from each building along with the glow of holiday lights.
Santas hung from the buildings? What?
Yeah.
No!
It's Resident Evil. What'd you expect?
It says Santas hung from the building, not Santas hanged from the building.
Oh, I see.
Well, that would still mean hung from the building.
Well-hung Santas were on every building.
Ho, ho, ho! The faint sound of children laughing ran and faded along with merry songs playing from PA speakers. The glow from everything, it looked so beautiful, like a real town.
So here's... like a real town. So that's the thing that people don't realize about Santa. If you're going to write an erotic Santa fan fiction, he's going to have so many curly white pubes.
I don't know. Maybe he shaves to be aerodynamic when he's flying around.
Well, ever since his, ad pairing with Gillette, he kind of has to.
Oh, yeah. All right, so this is me now?
Yep.
Was Raccoon ever real? Or did Umbrella do that good of a job in fooling everyone? That thought came out dark and bitter, despite the holiday cheer filling everything and framing her in a pale glow. Jill could only examine, taking in everything her eyes wanted to, just once rest and enjoy this for a moment. Okay.
What is this?
She saw amongst the toy drums, French horns, and turtle doves with ornately painted angels flying alongside the three wise men in a small nativity scene. Did a nativity scene, did a Christmas decoration truck crash in the middle of the apocalypse and there's just French horns and turtle doves and wise men everywhere?
Seriously. Silent Hill. This is nothing or very little like Resident Evil.
I'll take the next line. Okay. They, with bright grins, smiled down upon the brightly garbed men with blacked out eyes.
So this is, it's really weird because I can place myself here and I can visualize everything that's being said, but nothing is happening.
Right.
No.
Jill Valentine has woken up in a Christmas wonderland. You know what? This would make a lot of sense if it was Jill Valentine and Krampus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That needs to be for the upcoming Resident Evil 3 remake. There needs to be a Christmas reskin downloadable content.
Yeah.
The laughter stopped. Like a broken tape, the music started to warp, and the sounds of children crying took the laughter's place. It pitched louder along with the rising heat suddenly filling the air. The music twisted and bent, becoming a parody of itself. Now, who would it's so corny, the idea that you're going to have music warp and become distorted. What kind of author would actually do something that stupid?
Yeah, really lazy, honestly.
It's really lazy, really cheap, generic.
I'm sorry that Whimsywood wasn't about a single dude with a My Little Pony collection coming upon a carnival in the middle of nowhere where a bunch of gay dudes fucked, DP. I'm sorry.
I'm glad that you can finally admit it.
Who brought up Whimsywood? Who said anything about Whimsywood?
Yeah, sure.
And then the world became coated in red, the angels bleeding out red from their palms. I was fooled so well. The tape wore and cracked, the crying becoming louder and shrill. Stop it.
Suddenly, silence. Red and silence. Jill didn't know where it was coming from, but the whole of the world seemed almost saturated with the red spotlights that were almost blinding in its intensity. A low growl broke everything.
Bro.
A low bro.
Stars. Almost a whisper along the returning wind. Is history now trying to catch up? I don't know if that was also the whisper, because we don't really have character internal dialogue separated from anything else.
She did what she could only do. Jill ran.
Continue to walk forward slowly.
Unlock things.
Yeah. I don't think that she's the only one who can run. She did what she only could do. Jill ran.
I like the idea that there's this nicely painted Christmas scene. There's this disaster going on. Everything is horrifying, but she's just walking around with tank controls.
Yeah. Is she strafing at all or no?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
She's just doing like if she needs to like walk in a different direction, she's walking in place to turn.
Yes. Jill ran through the snow, it feeling heavier than before, trapping her feet in a pristine quicksand. She ran, her fingers trailing along glass storefronts, trying hard to run, trying hard not to repeat what she knew was both painful and...
A lone figure stood in the center of her path, looking upon her with two spaces, with his monstrous gaze. Her mouth was open in a frozen gasp. She was totally shocked by the size of his tentacles. He was unarmed, like he needed to be armed. The red, again, two spaces. Why are we doing this?
I don't know.
The red that coated everything permeated him, turning the midnight black of his leather into a subtle red.
Red.
This is like that one dream we read.
What? I can't even...
Yeah. Spider apple.
Everything is red,
Spider
crimson,
apple, yeah.
everything.
Spider apple nightmare.
Spider apple nightmare.
Spider apple nightmare. Spider apple nightmare.
That's the name of one of the drinks that Abysmii or I would order at a themed bar.
Yes.
Absolutely, I
Can I
will.
have the spider apple nightmare?
On the rocks, please.
The color gave him a demonic glow, as if he needed lighting to show the inherent violence in his person, like he needed anything at all.
This is so weird.
All of a sudden, Bush started playing. There's no sex in your violence. Anyway.
Like violence, you have me. The warmth rose higher, the cold of the snow barely registerable now. Jill wasn't even aware that she was backing up. She knew retreat is bad, that it is the worst thing to do right now, but her body, like at the door, worked on its own. Her retreat stopped by her back touching the glass.
God damn. Archive of our own. Is there an age limit to rape stories? Because... I mean, I don't want to say that this person probably is too young to be on the site, but her retreat stopped by her back touching the glass.
It could also be English, not as a first language.
I've been leaning towards English second language this entire time.
Okay. All right, so this is me now?
Correct.
Oh, goddamn. She turned to see the storefront, unlit with hand-painted lettering. Hand-painted litter was everywhere. Hand-painted lettering scrawled in Gothic black and red. Luca's Italian Eatery. Her hair fanned behind her, just out of shock. Like a cat's tail.
No, not Italian!
As she turned back, he was upon her, an inch between them. That was all he needed. Jill's eyes narrowed. She won't repeat everything. I won't. Okay.
Wake me up and...
She shoved him hard, not caring if he was immovable, not caring if he kills her this time, not caring if he dies this time. I don't need this nor want it.
So, you said you skimmed this, right?
I did.
We're not going where this seems like it's going, are we?
We'll see.
God damn it.
Warmth filled her mouth, her pressing against the glass, the warmth overwhelming, burning. A sharpness caught her lip, and then the taste of copper. When did I have lips? When did I start this again? What?
He pulled away, licking his teeth, the faint trace of her blood being swiped away. So he bit her on the mouth?
Yeah.
Smug bastard. She had screamed it, the insult flung empty. Her hands flew up and angry. Her hands flew up, angry, irritated, wishing to strike him. It always felt good to simply hurt him. It's acceptable. Okay.
Suddenly, she felt herself being twisted around, her back pressing against straps. Her face was tilted upwards, her blue eyes catching a small green item hanging in the window display, tied and hanging from red ribbon. They both reflected in the glass, the sheen of red covering all uncertainty. So is that going to be
mistletoe?
A health herb?
It's both.
Yeah, hey, why not?
The health herbs
right.
and the health herbs in Resident Evil have always been mistletoe. Everybody's gonna fucking die.
Yeah. Strong hands softly roamed in her hair, smelling the long strands before claiming her lips again. The other hand slid along her hips, hunting for the straps she knew were there. Her eyes, hating this, replaying this again, slid closed Her eyes, hating this, replaying this again, slid closed, wanting it all. The world lit on fire just the way she remembered it.
Uh-huh. Crying broke into her mind, dragging her somewhere else. The soft yet pleading cry from the nearby crib filled the bedroom. The familiar walls of her house calmed Jill. The walls claimed her, the end. Calmed Jill from where her mind had decided to fly. Still, she palmed her hair, barely past shoulder, and blonde, and angry.
What? So I think she's waking up from a nightmare, maybe?
Now her hair's blonde?
Yeah, because her hair is blonde further in the story, remember? Because like in Resident Evil 5, she's blonde because eugenics.
Okay.
She looked outside to the outside room, seeing Sheva and Chris still asleep on the guest cot, entangled with each other. What? Is this a cuck queen scenario?
Sure.
Jill rose from the rocking chair, leaning down to pick up the small little girl, slowly calming in her arms. Shush, little girl, shush.
Now we're going to change tense again.
Jill walks with the small newborn in her arms, reaching for a small book, a gift from the child's small aunt and small uncle sleeping out in the small living room. The book depicted a little girl trying to save a little boy from a little splintered mirror. She was flanked by a tall, knowing queen in blue and white finery, all surrounded by tall snow. Jill read the story, her soothing words calming the soothing, fussy child back to soothing sleep. As she looked up, sunrise caught her eyes, the flakes of snow coating the window. Miles away, another sleeps, encased in cool liquid, a mask pumping air to his lungs. Floating in oblivion, the boy floats in his own broken mirror, hoping for the girl in his dreams to free him. Notes posted on DeviantArt in 2010.
Surprise!
Before the movie that came out in 2017 or whatever.
So, who's the child then? Is that
I think this
John
is a fan
Wick?
fiction. I think it's a fan fiction child.
Wait, no, it's a little girl. Is it, I don't know, what's a female lead of a post-apocalyptic zombie movie besides Resident Evil? Chun-Li.
Sure.
There is a Kmart from the movies.
Oh, maybe it's Sonya Blade. There we go. Everything comes together.
Yeah, no, technically. That's post-apocalyptic in some timelines.
Yeah.
Well, let's go with Sonya Blade.
Well, let's all thank DP for subjecting us to that. Thank you very much, you pill-popping son of a bitch.
You guys are going to do a Valentine's Day episode. I got the perfect thing.
I got the perfect thing.
All right, well, so now we got another story, I guess.
Vengeance.
This is the most blue-balled I've been on a fucking archive of our own reading ever.
Well,
nothing fucking happened.
I didn't want to like pick something out where it's just like hardcore penetration because it seems to make Slimebeast uncomfortable.
Well,
I'd rather he be
it also makes
than
everybody
all of us bored.
Pardon me. It also makes everybody watching uncomfortable. DP. Just FYI. Just FYI.
Oh well. Everybody, to spice this up, go write your own mini Resident Evil fanfic in the comments.
Yeah,
right.
Just do it.
Do it better than this one. And yeah.
Crossover Resident Evil with a completely unrelated, nonsensical. Make crack is what I'm saying. A completely nonsensical other franchise. Yes. I don't know, just spitballing here, randomly thinking maybe Fat Albert. I don't know. Hey, I'm looking for stars.
What about Smurfs? What about Nemesis Smurf?
Nemesis and Smurfette. I don't know.
No. Nemesis himself is a Smurf.
Oh.
He's just Nemesis, but he's blue, and he has the little red hat on.
Nemesis
so Papa Smurf.
He's Nemesis Smurf.
Nah.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Stargamel.
Okay. Good times. Vengeance. All that I see imprisoning me.
Asriel is a raccoon.
By Pseudodias.
Pseudodias. And this is Hunter X female character.
Oh, boy.
So this is Left 4 Dead.
Oh, God.
Fanfic.
Hey, everyone. Jeff Kaplan here from Left 4 Dead team.
Hey, everybody. Jeff Kaplan here from Stardew Valley. What?
This has a summary. When you're turned into a monster and locked away from the only life you knew, what more can you do? Notes. This takes place in the present day and gives insights onto what happened in Dimitri's life as a hunter. So I guess Dimitri is just this OC hunter.
Now, are they saying that the hunter in Left 4 Dead is always Dimitri, or is Dimitri one of a group of hunters, or?
I think he is a singular hunter.
Okay, I thought maybe this was like lore behind the hunter. And why would you pick the hunter and not the witch? Come on, but whatever. That's fine.
Okay, why does it always have to be like the male gaze here, huh?
Because the witch is half naked and the hunter is fully dressed wearing a hood.
Yeah.
But if we skim ahead to some of the comments, I think there are some comments. Wait, no, we can't find the comments. Anyway, Brandon is high.
Brandon, what's your PIN number? Prove you're not too stoned. Let's go. Can you repeat your credit card number and PIN number?
No, I remember there being comments saying, like, I'm glad I'm not the only one who finds the hunter hot. 2 weeks ago...
Maybe that was just what you were thinking, and in your state you remember it as a comment.
I am much more into the smoker.
Okay.
2 weeks ago, after the virus swept Mercy City, the entire... This one has city in it, but Raccoon City, no city.
Well, they don't want you to think that Mercy from Overwatch is appearing in this fanfiction.
The entire East Coast was wiped clean of humanity, and soon it becomes a global epidemic that spreads in the form of a sickness and a cure.
It spreads in... The epidemic spreads as a sickness and the cure. What? Okay.
CETA tried to contain what they could, what little samples they manage from dead corpses, until they too became what they sampled.
You become what you sample. That's why it's so dangerous to go to Costco.
The cities, the towns, the countries, it belonged to the infected now. Any human that was stupid enough to draw a starved horde was ripped to pieces.
Wiped to pieces.
It doesn't say that. That's me. So CETA, for those that don't know, is like the CDC, but in the Left 4 Dead universe.
Center for Epic Dude-Ass.
Corporate espionage. Damn, Andre.
Capital E, W. The D stands for W. Association.
Cunt eating dick asses.
Call everyone dildos again. All right. Yeah.
And for these 2 weeks, he would watch from above, from afar, wherever. Captivated by confusion. Wherever, by the way. So, webcomic made by Double Panic Comics, which is pretty damn awesome. Go check it out on Twitter. The whole thing's on there. Captivated by confusion of it all. I guess that's it. It's been years to him and decades since the pain settled. The ache and hollow rumble in his throat will forever surprise him, continue to frighten. He's cut his own tongue and the sharpness of his newfound canines, torn flesh with the razors of newly developed claws. Eyes burn, always itching, and no matter how much he claws away skin, he can see the world and death that is woven.
Itchingness, all that I see, imprisoning me.
Crawling in my skin.
Eyes burn, arms are heavy, there's vomit in my mouth already. Mom, cause he ate her. He changed so fucking much that his own reflection scares him. He's Jeff the Killer. It's this pale guy with silver eyes and fangs.
It's this pale guy with silver eyes and fangs that terrify.
Yeah.
This is like a horror sitcom.
I thought it was like the Lost Nickelodeon show. Like, it's this pale guy with no, turn it off. A never-ending stream of rustic blood. It's the blood is wearing little overalls and a little hat.
It's like those commercials for what's that chest congestion thing? with
Mucus,
like
yeah.
a Mucinex or whatever, but it's like for a blood virus.
Hey y'all, I'm a red blood cell. Rustic blood dripping off his chin and glassy talons, folks, continued to wipe it away with unadulterated rage. Who is he now? A man? A monster? He ponders the same questions night after night. The more he does something most sane people wouldn't, the more his brain tries to forget certain memories and motor skills. At times, he can't even remember how to speak. Is this just about Brandon?
Brandon wrote this 20 minutes ago.
Do you have glassy talons?
I do not. You can tell I'm not feeling great because I can't think of anything to say in response to that.
Brandon woke up in a chiffon blue and white dress and said, "When did I get these talons? Why are they so glassy?"
When I asked if you had... Okay, be honest with me. When I asked if you had glassy talons, did you check before you answered?
A little bit.
Right.
You can't be certain in times like these, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Even now, he can't begin to fathom the comprehension of using his tongue to say words.
God.
So it's like he's just really freaked out by the fact that he's a hunter.
He's really stupid.
Yeah, maybe I like the idea that every other hunter just like gets infected and starts like, desiring to kill humans and wants human flesh and all of this stuff, even though the zombies in Left 4 Dead don't eat other people, they just maul them to death.
Mm-hmm.
But this hunter is like the lone one who's too stupid to realize that he's turned into a zombie.
He can't fathom the comprehension of it,
Can't fathom the comprehension.
Yeah.
Of his tongue trying to say words. He continues to roar, bellow, scream, and snarl, and any other words I can pull up on thesaurus.com.
Mm-hmm.
A never-ending fit of pain and confusion. This is the life Sita gave him, forced him to welcome and accept without any remorse. Despite his mind always wanting to remain human, Dimitri feels no regret over tearing those scientists apart, limb from limb.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
The CEDA thing, did that start the virus in Left 4 Dead 4?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so.
All right, well, whatever.
I'm trying to figure that out. Maybe he was like working for CEDA, and therefore it put him in the line of fire to get, infected. It's a thought.
Maybe.
At whatever cost, he can't let them win again. Weeks bring the purge, the bombs, the corpses of infected scattered about. And when the corpses of infected scattered about, so like dead infected as opposed to the living dead?
The dead corpses. Another band, by the way.
Go, hey everybody, what up, Denny's? We're the dead corpses.
Denny's?
Have you never seen What Up, Denny's?
Oh, that's a great meme.
God damn.
Everybody go look up. What the fuck?
2 a.m. at Denny's?
2 a.m. at Denny's.
Yeah.
It's just like this metal band playing in Denny's. It's fucking hilarious.
It's amazing.
That is a must. That's our plug for the week. Go look at fucking What Up, Denny's. And when the warring became too hostile, Sita goes to the next level, capturing infected and dragging them away to labs. Quite a success, too, considering one of those specimens they managed to capture was Dimitri himself.
So, a nice romantic story for Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We got the backstory to someone's OC. Yeah.
Now everyone...
Why does this have the romance tag?
I don't know.
Fucking false advertising.
I guess because Dimitri got fucked by Sita.
Sure.
Okay, so like my wiener's limp, but that could be the pain.
Or the Percocet.
Don't Percocet my wiener. And
sounding with Percocets, eh?
Yeah.
Brandon shouldn't have told me that bothers him.
Yeah, that's why you don't tell people what your triggers are, folks. They'll just use it against you.
Right.
A feast for eyes.
Oh, God. Oh, wait, let me see what this is a thing of. It doesn't say that this is a fan work of any specific thing at the top.
No, it's just a Creepypasta fandom.
I'm going to assume it is an unlabeled fan story about Minecraft.
There is stalking.
Aha.
And horror and shibari. So that's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Replace every male name with Steve and every female name with Alex, if you will.
Okay, let's do that.
No. That's going to be really confusing.
Okay. As their eyes met, a shiver went down her spine. Okay, see, we're immediately becoming more erotic with this one.
Mm-hmm.
Melanie's day was great. Sleeping until noon was a special thing she could only do on weekends. As she went to get ready in the bathroom, her cell rang furiously. She pressed her phone to her ear while trying to brush her teeth. The excited babble of her best friend Anna squealed out of it, and after 15 minutes of talk, Melanie finally understood that the other girl wanted to meet and spend time in the city. It took her... That's women on the phone, am I right?
Yeah.
Guys, it takes 15 minutes to make plans. It took her 10 more minutes to invite her friend to a breakfast in a cafe.
What if we had a breakfast in a cafe?
JK, unless...
When she arrived at the location, Anna was already sitting there with a chai latte, sipping on it with her pinky raised. Without a greeting, she started, "Oh my God, have you heard about..." Anna was quite a talker, but Melanie enjoyed her company. It gave her the feeling of belonging. After bacon and eggs, they went shopping. The cafe for bacon and eggs? Their bags were filled quickly, although most of it belonged to Anna. After 2 hours, they took a break outside of a shop to drink another coffee. While Anna started to tell her
Chai
story...
latte is not a coffee.
That's true, it's tea.
Is this a Sex in the City fanfiction?
Dude, Sex in the City creepypasta. Someone write it. While Anna started to tell her a story about her boyfriend and how sweet he was, Melanie took a look at her reflection in the big glass window. I almost read it as big ass window. She didn't really enjoy the view though. Her hair was too scruffy, her teeth too big, like a bunny. Her skin too uneven. What does that mean?
Half of her skin is too high and half of her skin is too low. She's had a stroke.
She didn't quite like herself, but at least her physique was fine. Not if you have uneven skin.
Is this a Resident Evil story? Did we get two?
It's better than the first one so far.
Uneven skin. Suddenly, she noticed a pair of eyes glaring at her through the reflection. It was Nemesis. A young man, maybe 20 years old, was sitting on the other side of the street. Through the reflection. Okay. So she's in a building, then, I guess. I pictured her looking at a reflection from outside, but okay. His eyes, dark circles around them, were pinned to her. She stared back, waiting for him to break eye contact, but he didn't. Instead, a big grin spread across his face, looking so wrong. He was Herobrine. She just couldn't look at him anymore. She tugged at Anna's sleeve, suggesting another store to visit. She really didn't want anything besides getting away from that creep. Luckily, her friend was too happy to continue the shopping tour. All throughout the other boutiques, Melanie felt eyes fixed on her back. She turned around again and again, trying to see if she was being followed. Okay, so maybe it's an Enderman, actually.
Maybe.
She turns around and you just hear, "Girl." Anyway, I guess that's my paragraph.
I have no idea what this is.
There's no spaces between paragraphs, everybody.
Guys.
Oh god, this is a long one.
No, it's not a long story. It's just really poorly formatted.
Yeah.
I really wish that Archive of Our Own just allowed for paragraph indentations and stuff like that.
No.
I don't get why they don't.
Because it's not about that. It's about dick and ass.
Dick and ass.
Yeah.
I'm going to indent this dick into the paragraph of your anus. All right.
Sometimes she noticed his dark eyes following. Other times she caught a strand of his hair disappearing between people.
Just a strand floating in the air.
I think I know what the author means. It's very poorly worded, though.
I certainly don't understand what the fuck they mean.
It's so poorly worded that we have to make up meaning to understand
I think it's like he's darting in and out of people and like evading her eyes, and so like just a strand of his hair is what she sees before it disappears. I think that's what they mean.
I think they mean like a lock of his hair, or
yeah, strand is not the right word.
He's sweeping out of view, but she catches sight of the top of his head somehow, or I don't know.
How fucking long is his hair?
Maybe he's like T-posing, but he's rotated on his vertices or whatever. So he's like, he goes around a corner and she just sees the top of his head going around the corner because he's horizontal.
Melanie took Anna's hand, which is capitalized for some reason, as she got faster and faster and changed buildings quicker and quicker even when her friend begged her to stop because she saw something nice.
I like the idea, you know that thing where it's like, the videos on YouTube where it's like every time someone says the video increases by 10%, the video speed. I like the idea of her just getting faster and faster like that. Like just every time she sees him, she's 10% faster.
But when he turned around, she caught a glimpse of a man close to her. Suddenly someone touched her back. Was he even close to her? Was he so close to her? Would he hurt her? Panicking, Melanie turned around, but there was only another person shopping, already apologizing to her.
Sorry I'm shopping, sweetheart.
Darling. Even though she realized this and tried to calm down, each time something brushed over her skin or clothes, she had to repress the need to scream.
Well, now we know why her skin is uneven. Everything's constantly brushing against her and touching her. Just knocking her skin out of place.
Ladies, if you're going to a mall and people are constantly touching you, there's something wrong.
Yeah, with you. No.
Even out your skin, you gross, disgusting person.
God damn it.
She forced herself to get slower because now Anna was starting to question her.
I need you, baby, sweetheart, kiddo. I need you to get slower. Come on. Can you get slower? Come on, let's go.
Something Melanie wanted to avoid. They started to show each other their genitals, each other's clothes. Again, after a while, they even found things to try on. Melanie was now relaxed enough to even joke with Anna. Anna? I love how I'm just auto-correcting it to Anna now.
Mercy was now relaxed enough to joke with Anna. God damn it.
Sorry I fucked your daughter and also fucked you. I'm a giant whore. What can I say? I like him tan. Mm-hmm. They promised to show each other their outfits after they finished putting them on in the changing room. Why? That's a weird promise to make.
Mm-hmm. I promise I won't slip out the window. I'll be here when you get back. Yeah.
She pulled the curtains closed and started to strip. The new clothes were cold and soothing, but before she could put on her shirt, something put her shirt. Mm-hmm. So is she going to shoplift this?
Yes.
That's what the story isn't telling you, is that she's a shoplifter.
She's being security guard stalking her.
Yes, it's just mall security.
Why is she darting? Why is she trying to avoid me so much? She's clearly shoplifting. Mm-hmm. I do like that before she could put her shirt on. You don't own that shirt, bitch. Mm-hmm. Something pushed against the curtain behind her. Assuming it was Anna, she turned around only to discover an eye staring at her from the gap. The store across the street. From the gap in the curtain. As a scream escaped her mouth, it disappeared, and she could hear someone run. In a second, Anna was at her side, staring, and started to calm her down. I'm sorry, folks. I'm dying.
Guys, it's about 5 minutes out from Dead Palette going night-night.
We're really approaching the end. It's all right, she said. It was only some creep. It took Melanie some time to stop shaking. The girls were in a small cafe.
Again.
Women be shopping and going to cafes, am I right?
God damn it.
This is the most male that a male has ever written a male story about women.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Who is the author again? Let me scroll up to the top. Rackhind. Damn, there's no indicator of whether that's a male or female author. Oh, well, we'll never know.
Yeah, we will. It is a man. And they stayed there until she felt good enough to walk again. And she was just so debilitated she couldn't walk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like the idea that she's getting out of the changing room and she needs her friend to support her. She's just limping.
Well, the changing room, it's kind of a big ordeal because when she went into the changing room, she had to press E to open her inventory, and then she had to drag the diamond armor onto her body, stuff like that. Because this is Minecraft, remember?
Oh, when Anna suggested to watch a movie. She felt okay again, but the incident was still in her head. Before the film started, she turned around and inspected each and every one in the crowd. No one even remotely as suspicious as the man from the cafe was present. A smile covered her face as she snuggled into her place and concentrated on the starting flick.
Oh, she's doing that in the seat? I didn't... Okay. Kind of rude, but sure.
Flicking her bean, yeah. Slowly, her mind started to rationalize that strange encounter. She couldn't be sure if the man had actually stared at her or just in the same direction. It might have been a big coincidence, after all. It might have just been another creep in the store.
All in all, you're just another creep in the store.
I'm glad we both went to the same place on that. It still took her an hour to shake this uneasy feeling off. She just said that she was like smiling and happy and everything.
A smile covered her whole face. Her face is nothing but a gigantic
uneven
smile.
face.
Yeah.
It was like the music video for Black Hole Sun.
There's this woman running around with uneven skin and a smile covering her whole face, and she's like, "Why is someone staring at me? I don't understand." Because you're a freak.
She's just the Charger from Left 4 Dead.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
The movie was great, romantic and sappy, but still wonderful, entertaining.
God damn it!
Ooh.
This is a guy writing this. The girls were still debating as they ate their last of their popcorn. As they walked home, giggling and smiling, they were so focused on their conversation and their ideas on how to continue the story they just watched. Both of them didn't notice men.
Okay, before we address that, I want to say they're both fan fiction writers because they want to extend the story. They just watched a movie, but yeah, and they didn't notice a men. So yeah,
they didn't notice men. With dark circles under his eyes staring at them. That's a good... So, hey, ladies out there, if you see anyone with circles under their eyes, it's not that they're sleep deprived. They're trying to kill and murder you.
Right, and keep in mind the circles are not around his eyes. He actually has little circles painted like on his cheeks, like a clown.
He's a raccoon.
Yeah. God damn it.
Back home, Melanie spent a few hours putting away her new possessions and cleaning her small apartment. She was in a great mood, singing with the radio. The fuck is the radio?
She's holding up the radio.
She's singing with the radio. She's in her house doing some light cleaning, and she's like, "A bus crash killed 17 children today." No, that's the news, you idiot.
The Nasdaq's down. After drinking tea, apparently that's all she does is drink tea and shop, she decided that it was time to go to sleep, and her body instantly got tired as she cuddled into her soft blanket. Before her eyelids fell
down off her face. This woman is a mess.
I love this. This is a wonderful wreck of a story.
Let me look back at the thing here. Oh yeah, the tags do say leprosy. Okay.
She has uneven skin. Her eyelids are falling down. I think she's like some weird impersonator of a human, and she's just in a skin suit.
Becky,
you shopping again?
Oh my God, this is Becky. Because she's like, I do normal girl things like get tea and shop all day, every day. That's all I do is drink tea and shop.
Becky, why did you spend $3,000 at the mall, mostly on this one cafe? You went back 7 times. Before her eyelids fell down as she drifted off into a deep slumber, she saw a dark shadow figure peeked into her room from the corner of her eye, but it was already too late as she just
Oh my God.
As she just fell asleep. That's not how that works, but okay.
Don't you hate when you're trying to go to sleep and then a serial killer runs in with a knife and a hockey mask about to stab it into your throat, but it's too late because you just fell asleep?
You're like, well, that was scary, but oh well.
Well,
better conk out.
What are you going to do? The shockingly cold air woke her up again. She was in a blue and white dress with longer hair than before, and it was snowing out. What?
I wasn't reading along, and I was like disturbed there for a second. I was like, is this just a fetish that I don't know about?
The shockingly cold air woke her up again. It was still dark, but she could feel what certainly wasn't in bed. She could feel it was still dark, but she could feel that certainly wasn't in bed anymore. Maybe she rolled around in her sleep and fell down? She tried to stand up, but she couldn't move. What the fuck? She wanted to say, but her mouth didn't want to open either. There was some sort of resistance below her jaw, keeping it from opening. Is this just the Saw franchise?
Mm-hmm.
She tried to get rid of it with her fingers, but her hands seemed to be unable to move too. Even her head was unable to move. Slowly, panic started to spread through her tired body. What was this? Some sick nightmare?
No, that's sleep paralysis.
Yeah, just having a little bit of sleepy paralysis. Oh my god, guys.
We're almost done.
Why do I keep getting the big paragraph?
Well, no, it's just 3. It looks like it's long, but I think it's just 3.
Oh, thank
lines.
God. Oh boy. Suddenly the lights were switched on. She had to blink a few times until she could barely see. Women born after 1997 don't know how to move their jaw or move their hands. All they know how to do is go shopping, shoplift, and drink chai lattes.
Yeah.
She was lying on her left side, facing her big mirror. She could see. But what she could see didn't soothe.
It didn't soothe her worries.
Didn't soothe her worries either. Ropes were struck around her body.
This is like asking a drunk driver to do his alphabet backwards. It's a difficult task anyway.
Ropes were struck around her body, forming a delicate pattern, taking her ability to move. At first, it nearly looked beautiful, but then panic set in. She tried to wiggle free, abruptly noticing how much bare skin she was exposing.
Here we go with this shit.
How embarrassing.
Is this fear.com fanfiction?
Oh, okay. Here we go. Apparently she was only wearing her panties, something that didn't make her situation look better.
And worst of all, they were on her head.
Tears were building up in her eyes as she could hear footsteps from behind her. It took her a while to recognize him. The man was wearing a face mask, but his eyes revealed his identity.
Why is he wearing a mask if he was looking at her all day and following her with his face out?
I don't know.
He's wearing a mask of his own face.
The same piercing stare. You're finally awake. His voice went through her bones, her uneven bones. So we can start now. The question, what would start now?
Now listen.
God damn it.
You're finally awake? Oh, we can start now.
Just so you know, for all this lead up and the entire time, this is what Obamacare has been. Mm-hmm. I've been getting to each person one by one.
If you want your panties, you can keep them.
Damn it.
Everything else, though, not so much.
Yeah.
The question, what would start now, terrorized her mind, making it nearly impossible to think straight. He squatted down to reach her, his cold hand stroking over her body.
Eesh.
She shivered from the cold and the terror. Melanie thanked God when he stopped and stood up. He took something out of his jacket. A camera. Was he some sort of pervert? Yeah, no.
Idiot.
No. Not from all the other previous shit he did to you. He stepped backwards. Click. A first picture. He went down on his knees. Click. The next picture. Melanie watched, partly afraid, partly confused, as the man did his quiet work. His face didn't show any emotion because he was wearing a mask.
Mm-hmm.
As he took pictures from her from any angle that was possible.
Possible angle. Every possible angle. All 360 degrees. Every direction.
He dug a hole in the floor and went below her feet. He documented each piece of skin and each strand of hair. This would take an interminably long time. Mm-hmm. He suddenly stopped and studied the pictures he got until now. A small smile crept onto his face. He seemed satisfied.
Millennials, am I right? Too concerned with the pictures when the actual thing is right in front of them.
Yeah.
Yes, this is all for the gram.
All this is the millennial Joker taking photos of Barbara Gordon.
Mm-hmm. Melanie begged that it was over, but no, he went down on his knees again and took out a ring. His hand started to caress her leg. You're so beautiful, he whispered, nearly incomprehensible. Only...
Yes, like... beautiful. Baby. Baby is a baby.
Only a whimper escaped her mouth. But you don't know that, right? I saw how you looked at yourself. Just too much hate inside of you. You don't deserve that.
Oh my god. No. Other than the fact that this is written with that, that big male gaze brush, with the shopping and the tea and the shopping and the tea, I see where the story is going.
Yeah, tell us or just let us finish it first.
Yeah, go ahead. I wasn't going to ruin it. I'm just saying. It's interesting.
Okay. You should stop comparing. Wait, hold on. You don't deserve that. Now his fingers wandered to her tummy, avoiding her private parts. She wanted to scream, to punch him, hurt him really, really bad. You should stop comparing yourself. It's no use. His hand finally left her skin. While Melanie was calming down, the man took a piece of cloth out of his pocket. I hope you can see your beauty just like I can one day. With those words, he pressed the fabric over her mouth and nose, robbing her from air.
From Bel Air.
Panic started to spread.
I got kidnapped by a stalker, and my mom said, "You're going with your auntie and uncle in Bel Air."
I whistled for a cab, and when it came near, I disappeared. I was never seen again. The cab driver was questioned, but he didn't say a word.
I wonder if people are going to look back at the Fresh Prince of Bel Air and what the fuck is a taxi?
Yeah, probably. What the hell is whistling? What?
Panic started to spread, but she couldn't struggle. Tears swelled out of her eyes while she slowly and painfully lost her consciousness and drifted into darkness.
When Melanie opened her eyes again, she could feel her soft blanket on her uneven skin. She threw it away in the trash, only to be greeted by the sight of her usual pajamas. The usual pajamas. I don't know why that struck me funny. She jumped out of her bed and ran to the mirror. There was nothing. She was a vampire! There was nothing.
What a twist.
Nothing besides a terrible feeling in her guts. She quickly stripped her clothes off and searched her skin for any marks or scratches, but nothing was to be found. She ran around the apartment. Look, okay, guys, settle down. Let me read this. She ran around the apartment, flailing her arms in the air and knocking things over. She screeched to high heaven and fell out the window. She ran around her apartment, searching for something. There was nothing to be found. Just nothing.
I've been robbed.
Her apartment is an empty airplane hangar. Slowly, she sat down on her bed again. There must be a rational explanation. Maybe it was all a dream. A sick nightmare. Yes, it must be. She only needed to get out of this apartment now. Once she was with friends, she would feel better again. She called a few people and asked if they wanted to meet for breakfast. Oh, God, he's going right back to the fucking cafe.
No, not again.
It's just Groundhog's Day.
Yeah.
Once she had found fitting clothes. Why would she have clothes in her house that didn't fit her if she was living alone?
Maybe she recently lost weight.
That's why her skin's uneven.
Yes! Yes!
God damn it. She quickly went outside. She had already calculated her way. In around 15 minutes, she would be at the cafe where she would talk and feel good again. But on her way, she noticed that the warm sun on her uneven skin seemed to wash away parts of the horrors of the night. The fresh air helped too, and soon Melanie was walking relatively careless again, the dream fading away, as dreams tend to do. As she could see her destination, she was already greeted her friends with a smile. She was already sitting with them as she noticed a far too familiar man standing on the other side of the road, a camera in his hand, and a wrong smile on his face.
Oh my God, it wasn't a dream.
Yeah, I mean, I gave the story a little too much credit. It has buried in there that nugget of a twist.
Yeah.
Where the guy stalking her and the guy undresses her and the guy takes pictures of her and you're like, oh, this is some kind of sexual deviant. Whoa, you know. But then the twist is, you know, you're so beautiful, you shouldn't, you know, I saw you look at yourself in the mirror with disgust. And, you know, so this is some guy who is, you know, yeah, he's a weirdo and yeah, he's a fucking creep, but it's somebody who wanted her to see the beauty in herself, which is kind of a sappy, you know, moral of the story type thing, but I could see, you know, okay, well, you had effort in this and you did a twist, you know, whatever. Like, I remember, DP, I think you read a story called She's Asking For It or something like that. About a guy a guy who sees a girl at a cafe who's really beautiful and there's like a whole, you know, twist about that whole scenario. But, I think I gave it too much credit because at the end of the story, it's just not even going with that. It's just like, whatever. All right. Okay. I was with the story when it seemed like it was going in a different direction, but
yeah, it's I was like, where are you getting at? And I'm like, nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, that was fun.
all this needed was one little line. I mean, it wouldn't erase all of the very bad problems with the story, but all it needed was one line toward the end where she looked in the mirror or she looked at her reflection in the window and, didn't notice her problems, her faults.
Yeah.
And then you could say, all right, well, it went with the little twist, whatever. But no.
Still enjoyed it more than the other two.
And then, oh wait, there's the last line here. Then Nemesis ran in and tackled her to the ground, smashing her face into the curb until she was dead.
There we go.
And the guy with the camera is just like, oh shit, and he runs away.
Yes. Whoa.
This has been the Fear Fiction Podcast. Your hosts are Abysmii, Dead Palette, and Slimebeast. Music by Abysmii. Art by C.F. Comer. Voiceover by Atticus Jackson. Edited by Elias the Intern. Subscribe to Fearfic on YouTube to stay up to date on new episodes.
Welcome to the Fearfic phone sex hotline. We've got all the SEO tagged monsters, cryptids, and killers ready, willing, hot and bothered, and mentally insane for your voice. For female identifying creepypastas, press 1. For male identifying creepypastas, you've selected male identifying creepypastas. For a little bit of somnophilia, press 1 for Jeff the Killer. If you like 'em tall, slender, and well-dressed, press 2 for Slender Man. If you're up for a little bit of edge play, press 3 for Ben Drowned. Are you a bit of a size queen? Press 4 to start the ritual with the holders of big dongs. Want a night out in the woods with someone that'll absolutely rabbit you? Press 5 for the rake. Are you a naughty churchgoer in need of a lurid confession? Press 6 for the Reverend Marley Sachs. If you're in need of a demonic swirl job, press 7 for the ticket taker. Ready to meet someone others would rather not? Press 8 for the smiling man. Are you a horny teenager looking for a horny demon? Press 9 for Anansi Goat Man. You've selected Slender Man. You can press another number at any time to select a different monster. Now connecting you with Slender Man. You've selected Ben Drowned. Connecting you now. You've selected the ticket taker. Connecting you now.
So it's Valentine's Day,
Yeah.
and on Valentine's Day, there's a lot of people who feel lonely, and and like, hey, I'm not worthy of love and stuff like that. Valentine's Day is a day that was invented to sell chocolates. It's all about big chocolate and big greeting card,
Right.
and we got to make sure that we're not losing our florist jobs to automation. And so we got to make sure that those people are having jobs. So understand that if you're feeling lonely on Valentine's Day,
Right.
a lot of people are. It's no big deal. And just the day after Valentine's Day, treat yourself. Go out, get some half-price chocolate, and just masturbate. Just
With the chocolate.
with the chocolate, unless you're a woman, because
No. Give yourself a
we're-
yeast infection as memory of the event.
I mean, it's not like anyone's going to go down on you, so.
Yeah.
Ooh.
True.
Yeah.
Make a nice
Aw.
chocolate cake. And also, it's worth noting that daylight savings time, basically just a way to sell more Halloween candy.
True.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the entire country of Ireland invented just so people would buy St. Patrick's Day merchandise.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Nobody's going around like, oh, to It's just a bunch of bullshit.
It's not real.
Yeah.
Ireland doesn't exist.
4th of
No.
July, not even the date when the Declaration of Independence was signed.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Veterans Day? What veterans? I haven't seen any lately,
No.
Used
no.
to be when I was a kid, you'd walk down the street and you'd constantly just be kicking them as they were lying on the ground, begging for change. Now I don't see them anywhere. Where are they? Where are the veterans? No Veterans Day needed.
That's because all the veterans are crisis actors.
God damn it.
All the veterans are just going to be tomorrow's Fortnite players as they pilot drones.
Could you imagine? Okay, can you imagine if they give drones emotes that you could do? Like you blow something up and then the little drone transforms and dabs, you know?
We'll all get wrecked.
Yeah.
What if that becomes a thing, like competitive droning? Competitive drone strikes?
Competitive droning, isn't that just an election debate?
Cut it there.
Democracy.
No, actually cut it here. Fuck Abysmii.
Oh god, I want to go to sleep.
So it's Valentine's Day, like Brandon said, which means it's
Wait a
also
minute.
my birthday.
We're doing 2 Valentine's Day plugs for the same episode?
We don't have to. It's fun. I don't care.
No, if it's like a Valentine's Day specific one, just fucking...
It's not, because it's my fucking birthday, and so I'm just subverting that, so it doesn't matter.
Whatever.
Okay, cool. Go get better, Brandon.
I hope I will. I'm probably...
Yeah, don't overexert yourself. You know, that shit.
I'll take that as a message to not go to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yes, no, seriously, don't go to work if you're going to fucking hurt yourself further.
And Abysmii is a lawyer, so that is a legal... That's a legal order.
No, that'd be a medical order. And I am a doctor.
It's a legal medical order. An LMO.
It's not a thing.
I don't
Let
know.
me out of this conversation.
No.